I went to Italy as an exchange student when I was 15, and then when I was 17 I went back to Italy. I wasn't a singer, I thought I was going to be an actor. I was going to go back to university and study politics, Italian and drama, but I went to Italy for a trip before I was going to go back to university, and I went to a karaoke bar in an Italian discoteca, and there was no songs I knew because they were all in Italian or liked. And then at the back of the room there was this guy and he was like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And he said, "Oh, I'm a DJ, do you want to make a song with me? I'll give you £50. And I was like, yeah, totally. I was 17 and I'd never done anything like it. And then I went back to Australia to go to university, and I was really not into it. It was totally like all theoretical. I wanted to be a practical person and be doing and stuff. So I said to Mum, "I want to quit, can I quit?" And she said yes. And then I was walking down the street and I saw this boy that I used to go out with when I was 15 called Muskrat. And anyway, I saw him, I was like, "Oh, Muskrat, how are you? What are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, just getting a band together." And I was like, "Do you need a singer?" And he was like, "Are you one?" And I just lied and said yes. And then I was in like that really unsuccessful band called Crisp in Australia for like 3 years. I was going to go around the world and I ended up in London. And a friend of my cousin said, "Hey, aren't you a singer? Aren't you a singer? Like, come to this jam." And I went to this jam and I got up and I sang, and then I sang and this guy was running backwards and forwards in front of the stage going, "You're with me, you're with me." And he ended up managing me and signing me to a publishing deal and my first record deal. Well, then I made Colour the Small One. I was having a really hard time, and so I made Colour the Small One, which is kind of like introspective and quite difficult to like convey live. And I put that out, and then that really flopped because I thought I was Radiohead or something, and I didn't do any press, and like nobody knew it was out. And I was like, I did like 4 interviews or something, and wondered why it hadn't sold any copies. So then I had to rethink. I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm not maybe I shouldn't be a singer. Maybe I should just write songs for other people. And in the meantime, I had a whole bunch of therapy as well. Then I got happy, made a whole happy album with my friend Greg Kirsten from The Bird and the Bee. And then I delivered that to Island Records, who I was signed to for Colour the Small One, who'd kind of bought me from Long Lost Brother Records. And I gave them that, and they were like, "You can't do this, you're a down-tempo artist, you're the singer from 07 and you made the sad album Colour the Small One, you can't do this." And I was like, "Really?" And they were like, "Yeah, no, you can't do happy, you'll confuse your fan base." And I was like, "What fan base?" I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, you can't do this." And I was really stubborn, and I was like, "Well, that's what I'm delivering." And they were like, "Well, you're dropped." And I was like, "Whoops." And so then again, I was like, what should I do now? And then gratefully, the 6 Feet Under thing, they put Breathe Me in the final episode of 6 Feet Under, and I was like, oh, awesome. Then there was a bidding war, 3 of the major labels in a bidding war for my next solo record. I decided that I would stop touring with 07. So then I did that with The Garden, and then after I finished touring The Garden, I decided I should concentrate on trying to do something with my solo career. I've got 3 projects that I need to finish before I can start any new ones, and that's like The H Crusader, which is that pop record that never came out, which I turned into a cartoon superhero. And that's due out like at the end of next year, I think, because animation takes so long. It's primarily a pop project, but it'll also be like a TV show and like a comic book series, and then I've got an album that I've got to finish, which is nursery rhymes, which will also be like a musical, like a modern-day Annie. And then the last one is a movie that I'm writing with my friend Dallas as well, called Sister. So I want it to be like a cross between Forrest Gump, Rain Man, and You, Me, and Everyone We Know. At the end of a songwriting period, you don't have a life, because all you do all day is like write songs, and you can't write songs about writing songs because nobody can relate to those, and that's just pointless. So you start like thinking, okay, I have to either stop writing songs, I have to accept that either I don't have any skills left and I don't have enough songs for an album, or I've got plenty of good songs for an album, and now it's about giving them to someone else to choose. I like to call my genre easy listening. I like to sing soul music. It's the most fun to sing, like the belty stuff. Yeah, I think that's probably just the most fun to sing, is the really loud stuff. It's totally self-indulgent. Like all of that like melisma stuff, all that Mariah Carey stuff, I love that. I'm a bad actor. I realise now that I've had to try and make music videos. Directing's much easier, it's way fun, it's super challenging, and I really enjoy it. But yeah, acting I'm bad at. I feel like I'm a pretty good director. Not great, but pretty good. I think sometimes I come up with a good idea. And I mean, the Breathe Me one I thought was a good idea, the 2,500 Polaroids, like a flip book. I think that was a good idea. I've got some more good ideas that I need to make, but that I don't actually have time or energy to make yet. So now I'm letting other people make my music videos because I've found people who I trust.